You are on your way out, rushing to beat the ongoing traffic. Your boss warned you not to come late after last week's incident. You've heeded his advice but still can't bring yourself to leave home early. At this point, only Jesus can save you, and you know it. You greet your dog goodbye, slam the door, and dash off. You settle in, sitting comfortably at your desk. Then it crosses your mind. You didn't get to give your dog a kiss before you left. That's unlike you. Then you wonder, does your dog even miss you whenever you are not at home? Dogs are emotional and loving creatures, which makes people wonder why they've got such a big heart. However, there are some key traits that determine if your dog misses you or not, and the key to knowing these traits is to know if your dog possesses them. Although some believe their dog possesses these traits, it would be shocking to find out that not all dogs do. And just as how important a heart is for us to keep living, so also are these traits important for our dogs to miss us. Which is why in this video, we'll be discovering the traits that make dogs miss us and if your dog possesses them. Whenever we get angry, sad, depressed, or experience other emotions, there is a reason for that. Sometimes we are able to explain why we feel these emotions, and other times we cannot, and our dogs are no different. Dogs have the ability to feel a variety of emotions like joy, sadness, fear, anger, and love, and when they feel one emotion than the other, they tend to act in that way. For instance, if you are someone who takes care of your dog and spends quality time with it, you go on walks and have this little thing between you guys that you consider special. All this and more would develop a strong feeling of association between you and your pet. And when this continues for a long time, you create a chemical that forms a special bond between you guys. A bond which is very crucial for the relationship between you and your dog. You might have been familiar with this chemical as we talked about it in our last video, but if you aren't, you can watch this video here. What this chemical does is to create a concrete feeling of love between you and your dog, and the more this feeling is created, the stronger you love your dog, and the stronger you love your dog, the more it will miss you when you are not at home. Side note, if you are not someone who does these things with their pet, please forget about it missing you, because I don't know what you are expecting. There's a crucial point to note, however. Dogs might be friendly creatures, but that doesn't mean they miss us when we are apart from them. Take, for instance, a friend of yours who comes over to say hi. If she is someone who likes dogs, you'd notice your dog catching up with her and both of them having a good time together. Hopefully you don't get jealous. However, when she leaves, your dog returns to its normal self and plays around the house or with you or someone else at home. Even though they had a good time together, your dog does not have an attitude when they leave. This is called familiarity, and it is born out of having a good time with somebody. And this is what we might be mistaking for our dog missing us. We might have a good time with our pet whenever we are around, but that doesn't guarantee they would miss us when we aren't at home. For all they care, it might be a perfect time for them to catch up with themselves, although this isn't always the case. Dogs are emotional creatures, and so we need to understand their needs, which is why I will be showing you the exact signs to watch out for in your dog when you get home to know if they missed you. And if you are watching this at work, you know what you shouldn't be doing. Just like human beings do when we miss someone, dogs also show subtle signs of emotional distress whenever they are left alone. And this can vary based on the length of time they were left alone. If, for instance, you leave home to grab a couple of drinks with your friends and you spend 2 hours outside, that might be sufficient time for your dog to miss you depending on the emotional strength of your dog. According to a behavioral study conducted by a group of psychologists who wanted to discover how long it took for a pet to miss its owner, they placed 3 different dogs in different rooms with their age being a factor. The first was a 6-month-old German Shepherd, while the second and third were a year and 3 years old respectively. They discovered that when their owners came in from 20 to 40 minutes after they left, the dog's reaction was normal and they showed no sign of emotional need. However, on the second try, the 6-month-old Shepherd began to show signs of separation anxiety from 1 to 2 hours after they left, while it took a bit longer for the second and third dog. On the fourth try, it took the first dog 1 hour 30 minutes to miss its owner completely, while it took the second dog from 3 to 4 hours to miss its owner, and the third dog, which was the oldest and most emotionally matured, from 5 to 7 hours to miss its owner. The research was also conducted in various parts of the country with different dogs, and the results were slightly edged. At the end of the research, the psychologist discovered that the length of time in which the human parent was gone and the emotional state of the dog was crucial to how much the dog will miss its owner if they left the house. For some dogs, it took longer for them to start missing their owner, while some started in a very short amount of time. Dogs show some behaviors that indicate they miss us when we aren't at home, and these signs are called separation anxiety signals. One major thing they like to do whenever they miss us is to cuddle themselves inside our clothing like our bed sheet or other personal belongings that have your scent in them. The reason they do this is to feel your warm presence as if you were around. Another subtle sign that shows they missed you when you are not around is if they start to pace around you so much when you get home. This is a sign they've missed having you around and are very glad you are back home. Another practice for them is to lick themselves all over as a way for them to cure the anxiety of you not being around and them having to wait for you. Whining and barking aggressively is also another hint that your pet has missed you while you were away. These and more are the subtle signs your dog gives to let you know they missed you while you were out. So if your dog has done some of these things whenever you come home after a long day out, I hope you understand why now. For centuries, our most loyal companions have always been dogs who have stood by our side through thick and thin, which is why they experience a range of emotions when they are separated from us. Although not comfortable for them, they have always had to cope in the best way they can. But it's not all doom and gloom, as with proper care and attention, dogs can learn to tolerate being alone and even enjoy their time spent without their owners. So the next time you have to leave your furry friend behind, remember that they may miss you, but they will be okay. With love, patience, and plenty of toys and treats, your dog can thrive, even when you're not there. Because no matter where we go or what we do, one thing is certain: our dogs will always be waiting for us with open hearts and wagging tails. Watch this video to know the 10 signs you are emotionally hurting your dog.